You thought you had love, but what you really had was a performance. She played the role of a loving partner. She spoke the right words. And because you allowed the passions of hope and attraction to cloud your judgment, you failed to see the truth that was demonstrated in her actions every single day. That persistent feeling of emptiness you carried, that was not a flaw in your perception. It was your reason, your ruling faculty, trying to break through the fog of illusion. Because genuine love cannot be faked forever. And when a connection is not built on a foundation of true character, the cracks will eventually show. If you have been left broken and confused, it is time to stop asking what you did wrong and start seeing, with clarity, what was missing from the very beginning. In this guide, we will not assign blame. We will seek truth. I will reveal 11 signs that a woman's actions were never aligned with the virtue of genuine love. These are not accusations to be used in an argument. They are tools of perception. They are designed to give you the closure she never could, because this closure will not come from her, but from your own clear-eyed understanding of reality. This is not about becoming bitter. It is about becoming wise. It is about learning to distinguish a temporary performance from a lifelong partnership, so that you never again waste your most precious resource, your time, on an illusion. The very first sign explains why all your sacrifices, all your efforts, may have fallen on deaf ears from the very beginning. Let us begin. Sign 1. She never appreciated your efforts. You bent over backwards trying to make it work. You apologized when you were not even the one at fault. You stayed available around the clock, hoping that your constant presence would somehow soften her indifference. You bought her gifts. You planned the dates. You carried the entire emotional weight of the relationship on your shoulders. But no matter how much you gave, it was never enough. She dismissed your gestures. She minimized your sacrifices. And she acted as if your devotion was something that was owed to her. Here is the truth a man of reason must accept. When a woman truly loves a man, she does not overlook his effort. She sees it. She values it. She feels a sense of gratitude that someone is willing to stand beside her and invest in her happiness. Appreciation is the natural language of a virtuous and loving connection. Indifference, on the other hand, is a silent, passive-aggressive rejection. If she never once acknowledged what you did, never offered a simple thank you, never made you feel that your sacrifices mattered, then you were not in a partnership. You were in a state of servitude, and that is not romance, that is exploitation. The harsh reality is that love cannot survive in a vacuum of gratitude. Without recognition, your giving becomes draining, your devotion slowly turns into resentment, and the fact that she let you pour yourself out day after day, without ever attempting to fill your cup back even a little, is the clearest and most painful sign of all. She never loved you. She only consumed what you offered, until you had nothing left to give. A man's effort should be a gift, not a tribute to be paid to an indifferent queen. If your gift was never appreciated, it is because, in her eyes, you were never truly valued. Sign 2. She never considered your needs. In every healthy, just relationship, there is a balance, a reciprocity. You give and you also receive. Your needs mattered just as much as hers. But when you were with her, your needs were treated as an inconvenience. The moment you voiced what you wanted, whether it was more of her time, more affection, or simple, basic respect, she turned it against you. She may have accused you of being selfish, of being uncaring, or of making everything about yourself. That is a classic manipulation tactic, in its rawest form, because a partnership founded on the virtue of justice does not punish a man for having needs. It listens. It attempts to understand. A woman who genuinely cares about you, who sees you as an equal, will at least attempt to meet you halfway, even if she cannot give you everything you ask for. She will want to understand what matters to you, because your happiness is connected to hers. But in your story, she made your needs invisible. She placed herself at the absolute center of the relationship, and you became nothing more than a supporting character in her play, there to serve her emotional and practical needs. And here is the brutal truth that you must face. If she never even paused to consider what you needed to feel fulfilled, then she never saw you as a partner. She saw you as a resource. Stop making excuses for her behavior. Stop telling yourself that you were too demanding or too needy. You were not. You were asking for the bare minimum of a functional relationship. To be acknowledged, to be considered, to be cared for. If she could not offer you even that basic level of reciprocity, then she never loved you. She loved herself. And she loved the convenience of having you serve her. Sign 3, she never tried to resolve conflicts. Every couple has conflicts. Disagreements are a normal and healthy part of two individuals navigating a life together. What defines real love is not the absence of conflict, but the willingness to work through it. A woman who truly cares about you, who is invested in the future of the relationship, will argue. She will cry, she will negotiate. She will do what it takes to protect the bond between you, because the relationship itself matters more to her than winning a temporary battle. But with her, it was different. Every argument ended in either a cold, punishing silence or a storm of blame directed at you. She never took responsibility. She never sought a mutual resolution. She never asked the one question that signals a true partner. How do we fix this? Instead, she let the issues pile up, one by one, until they created a mountain of unspoken resentment that poisoned everything between you. And while you were losing sleep, trying to find solutions, she carried on as if nothing had happened. That is not love. That is profound indifference. A woman who loves you cannot stand to see you in pain. She cannot stand the emotional distance created by an unresolved conflict. But she was comfortable with it. She was comfortable with your hurt. She was comfortable with the cracks in the foundation widening. Why? Because she was not invested in saving what you had. From a Stoic perspective, a wise person seeks to restore order and reason. Her refusal to engage in that process is a clear sign of a disordered and indifferent character. Ignoring problems is its own kind of answer. When someone refuses to help repair something, it is because they do not care if it breaks. And if she repeatedly walked away from conflict without making any sincere effort to mend the damage, she was not protecting the relationship. She was allowing it to die a slow, painful death. Do not mistake her silence for strength. Do not romanticize her avoidance as a desire for peace. It was neglect. And it proves she never loved you enough to fight for you. Sign 4, she never talked about the future. Think back to your time with her. Beyond the next weekend, beyond the next vacation, did she ever truly speak of the future? Did she ever ask where the relationship was heading? Did she ever talk about long-term plans, commitments, or building something with you that extended beyond the present moment? If the answer is no, you must understand that her silence was not accidental. It was deliberate. Women who are genuinely in love, who see a man as a potential life partner, do not stay vague about the future. They want to know if you are serious. They want to know if they are a part of your long-term vision. Even the smallest gestures, mentioning future trips, dreaming about a home together, talking about marriage or children in the abstract, are all signs that she sees you as a part of her life story. But if she constantly avoided the topic, if she changed the subject whenever you brought it up, or if she dismissed it with vague excuses like, "Let's just see where things go," it is because she never intended to keep you in that future picture. Her avoidance was not about being carefree or going with the flow. It was a strategy to keep you temporary. You were convenient for her in the moment. You were a source of attention, affection, or stability for the present. But you were never essential for her future. She did not want to build a life with you. She just wanted to consume what you provided, until she was ready to move on to the next chapter of her life, a chapter that did not include you. The truth is brutal but clear. When a woman loves you, she cannot help but imagine a tomorrow with you. And when she actively resists every single conversation about that future, you are not her partner. You are her placeholder. Stop pretending it was just bad timing, or that she was afraid of commitment. It was not. If she never saw you in her future, it is because she never truly loved you in the present. Sen 5, she never valued you as a man. Love is more than just attraction. It is about recognition. It is about seeing who a person is at their core and cherishing that essence. A woman who truly loves a man will admire his character. She will respect his strengths, and she will have compassion for his flaws. She will encourage him to grow. She will not seek to diminish him. She will make him feel that his very presence has meaning. But with her, it was different. Your talents went unnoticed. Your achievements were downplayed. The very qualities that make you a unique individual, your drive, your humor, your resilience, they seemed to mean nothing to her. Instead of celebrating who you are, she criticized you, belittled you, or simply ignored your essence. And when someone ignores your essence, what they are really telling you is this: I do not care about who you are. I only care about what you can do for me. That is not love. That is disregard. A partner who truly loves you does not make you feel inadequate. She does not silence your voice or laugh at your dreams. She does not treat your identity as something disposable or inconvenient. Real love amplifies your value. It never erases it. So if you constantly felt invisible when you were next to her, if you felt like no matter what you brought to the table, it was never truly seen or acknowledged, then you must accept this painful truth. She did not love you. Because a woman who loves you will make you feel seen, respected, and valued as the man you are. Anything less than that is not love. It is exploitation, disguised as affection. Sign 6. The absence of protective fears. Jealousy. A little jealousy is not toxic. It is a natural, human signal. It is proof that someone cares enough to have a fear of losing you. A woman in love does not have to be dramatic or possessive, but she will feel a spark of concern, a protective instinct, when she perceives a legitimate threat to her connection with you. That spark is the heartbeat of a valued connection. But think about her. Did she ever flinch when you spoke to another woman? Did she ever show even the slightest discomfort when others admired you? Or did she sit there, completely unbothered, as if it did not matter whether you belonged to her or to someone else? Do not mistake that for enlightened confidence. It is often a sign of profound detachment. When a woman truly values you, she protects her place in your life. She wants to keep her bond with you secure. But when she shows no reaction at all, when she is completely indifferent to the possibility of losing you, it signals something harsh. You were never important enough to stir her protective emotions. Her lack of jealousy was not a sign of her maturity. It was a sign of her apathy. This is a truth that demands honest reflection, and it can be a difficult one to face. In the comments, I want you to share your perspective on this. Have you ever been in a relationship where a complete lack of jealousy felt less like trust and more like indifference? Your story can provide clarity for other men who are questioning this same dynamic. A love that never reacts to a potential threat is not a strong love. Because our emotions cannot stay silent, when someone we genuinely care for is at risk of slipping away. If she did not blink when your attention shifted elsewhere, it was not because she was strong. It was because her attention was already absent. Stop telling yourself she was just secure. No, she was detached. And if she did not fear losing you, it is because she never truly felt you were hers to lose. Sign 7. Her absence in your darkest moments. Love is not tested when life is easy. Anyone can stay when the sun is shining, the laughter is easy, and the path is smooth. The real test of a person's character and the truth of their feelings comes in the storm. When you are down, when you are broken, when you are struggling to hold yourself together, that is when you discover if she truly loves you, or if she only loves the version of you that can give her something. Think back. When you faced a major setback, losing a job, a financial struggle, a health scare, or a moment of profound personal weakness, where was she? Did she stand by your side? Did she offer comfort, encouragement, or even just her quiet, unwavering presence? Or did she disappear? Did she become distant, annoyed, or treat your pain as an inconvenience to her life? A woman who truly loves a man does not vanish when things get hard. She steps closer. She becomes his strength when he has none left. That is what commitment looks like. That is what love is built on. But if she was not there, If she distanced herself every single time life tested you, then you were never her partner. You were her convenience. She was happy to share in your sunshine, but she was never willing to endure your rain. Here is the hard truth. If she could not walk with you in the dark, she never deserved you in the light. Stop excusing her absence with phrases like, "She just did not know how to help." Love does not always have the answers, but love never abandons. If she left you alone in your darkest hours, if she made you feel like a burden for your struggle, she never truly loved you. Sign 8. Her priority was never you in love. Priority is everything. Who a person chooses to spend their finite time with reveals where their heart truly lies. A woman who loves you wants to share her world with you, her free time, her celebrations, her ordinary, quiet moments. She does not constantly seek excuses to be elsewhere. But with her, you likely noticed a consistent pattern. She always had time for her friends, for her co-workers, for social events. Yet somehow, she rarely had time for you. Plans with you were always negotiable, always tentative. But plans with others were non-negotiable. And when you would bring it up, she would likely brush it off, telling you not to be clingy or demanding. Here is the reality. Nobody is ever too busy for the person they truly care about. When you matter, people make space. When you do not, they make excuses. Her behavior told you the truth long before you were willing to hear it. You were not her priority. You were an option. And that stings because deep down, you likely gave her the first place in your life, while she kept you in the background of hers. That imbalance is not love. That is convenience. A woman who loves you may enjoy her freedom, but she never makes you feel like a burden on it. If she consistently chose others over you, then you were never truly her choice at all. Sign 9. She cared more for the material than the man. Love is not measured by gifts, money, or status. It is measured by how someone treats you when there is nothing material to be gained. A woman who loves you will value your presence, your character, and your effort, not just the lifestyle you can provide. But with her, perhaps everything revolved around what you gave, not who you were. The fancy dinners, the trips, the gifts. You may have noticed that her affection, her mood, seemed to rise and fall with the size of your wallet. When you provided, she was warm and satisfied. When you could not, her interest faded. That is not love. That is a transaction. Think about it. Did she ever light up simply because of your smile? Or was it only when you pulled out your credit card? Did she ever want to spend quality time with you just for the sake of connection? Or did she always seem to need something material in exchange for her time? If her affection had a price tag, then it was never real affection. It was a strategy. The brutal truth is that love cannot be bought. If she only stayed because of what you could fund, then you were not her partner. You were her provider. And when the benefits dried up, so did her presence. Do not sugarcoat it. Do not call it her love language. The real language of love is care, respect, and support. What she practiced was opportunism. And if material things mattered more to her than your heart, then she never truly loved you. She only loved the lifestyle you could temporarily supply. Sign 10, the final sign. You never truly felt loved now. Strip away all the excuses, all the rationalizations, all the moments you replay in your head, trying to find a different meaning, and focus on the one truth you have carried deep inside all along. From the very beginning, something felt missing. No matter how much effort you put in, no matter how much time you gave, you never felt truly, deeply, and securely loved. And that feeling, that quiet, persistent doubt matters more than anything else. Because when a woman truly loves you, you do not have to second guess it constantly. You feel it. You feel it in her touch, in her words, in her actions. You feel it in the way she looks at you, the way she shows up for you, the way she fights for you. Love is undeniable. It surrounds you. It strengthens you. It leaves no room for constant, gnawing doubt. But with her, doubt was your constant companion. You kept asking yourself if you were enough, if she really cared, if the relationship meant as much to her as it did to you. That uncertainty was not your paranoia. It was your reason, your intuition, your very soul, trying to break through the illusion and tell you the truth. Your soul knew the answer long before your mind wanted to admit it. The hardest reality to face is this. If you never felt loved, then you were not loved. Real love does not hide. It does not leave you feeling empty, questioning, or begging for scraps of affection. Real love makes you feel secure. And if you never had that, then the relationship was never truly about love. It was an illusion. Accept it. Stop denying it. Because the moment you embrace this truth, you free yourself from the lie you have been living. When you step back and look at the full picture, the signs were always there. 11 undeniable truths, all pointing to the same, difficult conclusion. She never really loved you. And I know that is hard to accept. It cuts deep. It can feel like the ground has been pulled out from beneath your feet. But a man on the Stoic path must be willing to face reality, no matter how harsh. Because here is the truth that will set you free. You do not lose when someone who never loved you walks away. You win. You win clarity. You win back your dignity. You reclaim the time, the energy, and the devotion you were wasting on a woman who was never truly yours to begin with. The pain you feel right now is not the pain of losing love. It is the pain of losing an illusion. And illusions are meant to be shattered. Do not let nostalgia trick you. Do not let loneliness convince you to romanticize what was never real. Love is not silence, neglect, or exploitation. If you had to question it every single day, then it was never love. And now you know better. That knowledge is your power. You are now free to walk forward, free to demand more, free to only accept a love that lifts you up instead of draining you dry. The man who sees the truth cannot be fooled again. If this message opened your eyes, then do something with it. Like this video. Share it with another man who needs to be set free from his own illusion. And subscribe to this channel. Because here, we do not play games with love. We expose the truth so that men like you can take back control of their lives.